we have added?
JPA, web, and
JPA,
MySQL.
dependencies.
Okay,
MySQL,
MySQL, JPA, and web. So
JSP,
three JPA, not JSP.
JPA,
So
sorry.
yeah, three dependencies we have added. So after that, what we have done? So we have created packages: controller, model, repo, service on top of the base package.
Base
So on
package.
top of the base packages, we have created the packages. Why? Because Springboot always looks for the classes which are there inside the base package.
Base package.
Okay. After that, what we have done? We have done the database configuration. Go to SRC main resources. So this is the third step, SRC main resources. Open application properties. So here we have done the database configuration, our username, your URL, password, and all. Okay, with the help of DDL Auto, automatically table is going to be created. Okay, this is a common configuration for everything, okay, like MySQL database. Then I have created model class. Can you go model? Model class. So what is the purpose of this model class? It will map your Pojo class to the table name, and it will map your properties to the column names of the table, right? So if you save employee model object, it is going to be stored into which table? Employee 1. So if I set any value for ID, so this is going to be stored in ID column. If I set any value for first name, it is going to be stored in which column? First underscore name column. If I set any value for last name, if you don't use edited column is, so with the same name, column is going to be created with the same property name. Column name is going to be created. And if I set any value for the email ID, so this is going to into which table, which column? ID. So this is the purpose of model class or entity class. Means if you map your Pojo class to the properties and properties to the column names of the table. Okay. If you run the application, automatically table is going to be created. This is the third step. And fourth step is controller. Controller. Go to controller. The controller. So what I have created to make this, if I create controller, to make this class as a controller, what is the annotation you have to use? @REST controller.
Right.
Okay. Map your URL to particular class, you have to use
request map.
request mapping, so that your URL will be mapped with this controller class particularly. Okay, this is the controller class, and it's auto write. So instead of creating the objects manually, so Spring Boot will be created automatically with the help of which annotation?
Auto write.
Auto write. See, here we're not using new keyword. Here we're not using new keyword. So Spring Boot internally will create the objects automatically with the help of auto write. So that is the purpose of auto write. And also, if you want to create the object manually, sorry, if you want to create the objects automatically, corresponding class should be annotated with @service or @repository or @component. Note down @service, @component or @repository. So then only automatically will be created with the help of auto write. Is it clear? For example, I'll show you one example. Go to service class and common @service annotation. Go to service class, comment @service, and execute the application. Now you can see that object will not be created. Save it and run the application. Can you see that? Can you see? Control equal bean of type. So to create the objects automatically or to create the object with the help of auto while, so our class should be handled with controller, component, service, or tell me
Repository.
repository. Now you can comment this. Service means this class will act as a service and comment. Now try to run. You see no error, right? Okay, understood, right? What is the purpose of service component or repository? Now also auto while. Okay, now go to control class. Auto while means automatically objects is going to be created. So this is why employee service object. So how to call the methods? Now in Core Java, how to call the methods? To call the methods, we have to create the object of corresponding class, right? So we should call it. We have to get the object of corresponding class. So here, if you want to call the methods from employee service, so we have to get the object of employee service. So that's the reason I'm creating the object at line number 18. At line number 18, I'm creating the object. So with the help of this object, I'm going to call the methods from which class? Employee service. Okay. To save the data, what I have to use? Post mapping. To get the data, what is the annotation you have to use? At the rate.
Get
To update, we have to use at the rate put. To delete, we have to use at the rate delete. Okay. Here, save C is a method. Instead of save C, we're using a date request body annotation. What is the purpose of this annotation? So simply, if you capture the data from the postman or from the point 10, and it is going to be stored into which object? In this case, employee model object. Here, small EMP model is the object. So don't confuse here. Even though if you're not using new keyword, automatically object is going to be created. There's a beauty of framework. So what request body annotation will do? It will capture the
data from the postman and
or
store it in employee
employee
model.
model with the help of setters methods. Already this employee model will have getters and setters, right? Can you go inside the class? Can you please go inside the employee model class? Please come down. Come down. We shall have getters and setters. Can you see getters and setters? Yeah. Now go to control class. With the help of setters, can you go to control class? Springboot automatically set the values with the help of setters method. In the employee model, we have getters and setters, right? So Springboot automatically set the values with the help of setters method. Okay, now you got the values and into employee model. Now I'm passing that object to the save s method of employee service class. Okay, from here it will go to what is the return type? EMP models, same object, returning object, not string, not int, returning the object. Now can you go inside that class? So now we have that object came to employee service class. So what they again with the help of auto while I'm calling the object of employee repo, employee repo. So what is the purpose of inheritance? If we create the object for subclass, we can access both superclass members as well as subclass members. So when your method reaches here, what Springboot will do? Springboot will call this same method of JPA repository. Springboot will call this same method of JPA repository. Can you go repo? Can you go to repo? When you call save method, what Springboot will do here, it will check what is the model class, in which model class we have to be inject, and what is the primary key. We have to mention. Otherwise, how Springboot will know that in which table it has to mention, right? So we have to mention this so that what Springboot will do, Springboot will go inside the employee model. Can you go employee model? When I'm calling save method, Springboot will come to here. Yeah, here. Can go up. So it will come to this class and it will check what is the table name and which table we have to store. It will find out employee one and it will find out all the columns and it will store the data into corresponding table and corresponding columns. Is it clear? Flow.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now go to employee controller. Now run the application mode. We'll store one more record. Debug as Java. Go to Postman. So here in the headers we have to give content type application or JSON. In the body you have to save the data in the form of JSON. Can you go to body? Yeah, yeah, you can change the values. Add one. Can you please check the path and port number? Then go to Eclipse and make sure path should be correct. Controller, but path is save, right? But you have given save C. You have to give the path name and port number. What is the port number? Is it correct? Port number, right? Set 800. Fine. Now send the request. Now go to Eclipse. Sending the request means it is under process. It is under process, not yet completed. Go to Eclipse. Double click on console. Double click on console. You can see the values. Keep the cursor on line number 21. An empty object. 22 is under process. Yeah, can you see values, guys? So automatically values will be set with the help of setters. And who is going to be capture the values? At the rate request body. With the help of auto void, I'm creating the object of employee service. Why? Because I'm going to call the methods of employee service. Now, do we have 6? You can see the value here at line number 15. Don't do F6. You can see the value of. Yeah. You can see here. So when it says save method, so what a Spring Boot will do, Spring Boot will go to the corresponding JPA class and it will check what is the model class, and what are the tables, what is the table and what are the columns. Everything it will check, and in corresponding table, your data is going to be stored. So see, there is no manual process, right? If you see JDBC, everything you have to mention, but here everything will take care of Spring Boot. Okay, do F6. Now, yeah, F6. F6. Come out of the program. F8. F8 means below the refactor. If yeah, click that. Means it will stop the application. Okay, now go to MySQL Workbench and see the values. Play one, right? Can see the values. Okay. Now what you can do, you can fetch the value. How to fetch the values? To fetch the values, I told you what is the annotation you have to use. At the rate get mapping. Stop the application. Write one more method to fetch the value. Go to control class. Close all the classes. You will get confused. And top instant method class. Method class. Repo. Yeah, keep this one only. Okay. Now here you can create one more method which will return list of employee model. List of employee model. Now list of employee model. It was not single object, list. I will tell you the syntax. 1 second. I will send the syntax. If you return employee model, how many objects it will be written? Tell me.
One of
Only one object, only one record. But I told you list of. In go to chat box. See the syntax. Chat box. In our case, what is the model class? EMP model, not an employee. So this will return list of records. The above method, it will return only one object. Here it will return list of model, means list of records. Yeah, method name as usual. Enter. I told you what is the annotation you have to use. Get you have to use. Get you have to use. So no need to pass any yeah, here you need to pass the path. Now you can create one more class in service, one more method in service, and call that method. Create one more method in the service. See, flow, don't forget the flow. From the controller, request will go to service. From the service, it will go to repository. From the repository, it will go to database. As to we have you created any method? Maybe in the service, have you created any method? See, this method will be responsible to save the data. You have to create one more method. That method should be responsible to fetch the data from the DB. Create one method which will return list of employee model. So I told you from controller it will go to service. From the service it will go to repository. So you need to call the methods from repository to fetch the data. Can you check is there any method like get all under employee report dot? Here we are not writing find all. Yes, find all method. Find all method. It will return still. What is return type of this? It will return list of employee model. That's save it and you can call this method from controller class. That's it. Can you please call this method from the postman? Okay. Run the application. Can access now. So here get method. You need to select get from the drop down. Start the application. Right here. Go to postman. Here you need to select drop get from the left side. You have post right from the drop down. You need to select get because that is get request. Yeah, now you can click on send. No need to pass anything. Simply we are setting getting the values. Can you come down? Can you see the records? Guys, the
Yes, sir.
response. This is how to fetch the data. Now I need to delete one particular record. Then we'll see update. To update, I told you right. To update the record. So what is the annotation you have to use?
@put.
Yes. Create one method. Hello. So here, tell me one simple logic. So to update the record, you have to send the data from Postman, right? Otherwise, how data is going to be updated in the DB? Enter. Capture. Save it. Okay. Save it. Go to controller. So here, tell me. So how? Try to implement the logic. Try to implement the logic. Guys, and can anyone help? So to from where you are going to send the data? First, stop the application. Yes, good. So from the Postman, you are going to send the data. To capture the data, which annotation you have to use? The request body. Yeah, good. Go ahead. Okay, fine. Here I have one more doubt. Okay, we have to mention. We have to mention that which record we have to update. We have to mention the ID also, right? Otherwise, how Springboot will know that which record has to be updated. Means we have to pass the ID also, ID of that record, so that Springboot will update the specific ID. To capture the ID, we have to use an annotation called @path variable, comma @path variable. No, not there. Here, I told you comma, line number 34. To capture the object, we have used @request body. So to capture the ID, we have to use @path variable. So what is the purpose of this annotation? This space. What is your primary key ID? Long, right? Long ID. Means we have to pass the ID also. Otherwise, how Springboot will know that which object has to be updated. We have to mention the ID also. Not here, not here. Space long, LOHD. Space long. Space ID. ID is our primary key, right? You have to mention that. Input is. Means we have to inform to the Springboot that please update the ID. Sorry, please update the object with this ID. Otherwise, how Springboot will know that which record has to be updated? We have to mention the ID also, right? We have to mention the ID also from the Postman. Okay, now to update the record, which address we have to use? @ put brackets, anything, slash, put slash, after put slash, again slash. In flower brackets, mention ID. Because we have to pass the ID also from the Postman. That's it. Now you can see what you can do. Now you can call the one method from the Postman by passing these two values. One is employee model, second one is ID. We have to pass two things, right, to the database. Create one method in service class. That method should accept employee model as argument And this primary key also lang means this lang argument. Okay, save it. Now you can call this method. Call this method from the controller class. Here I will tell you the logic later. First call the methods from the controller. Don't forget the saving. We have to save the is a method name. What method name is this one? And what are the parameters it is expecting? Employee model as well as ID. Fine. These two parameters it is expecting. From here, it will go to save it. Okay. Here I will tell you the logic. After line number 26, enter. It will go to chat box. Copy this code. So what is the mod? What is your repository? No, don't confuse. Here EMP repo, right? What is your model class? What is your repository here? Model spelling wrong. Add L also. Here, what is your repository object? So here, what I'm doing, let me tell you. Okay, here what I'm doing, with the help of find by ID, we're fetching the record for this ID. We're fetching the record for this ID from the database. When I say find by ID, it will go to database. Like this will be like select star from where condition. Understood, right? Select star from table name where ID is equal. If you mention the ID, what that query will do? That query will fetch only one record specific to that ID. Here also, when I say find by ID, it will go to database and it will fetch the record specific to this ID. Is it clear? Hello guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Find all means it will fetch all the data, all the records. If you want to fetch only specific object, you have to mention the ID so that it will go to database and it will fetch only one record specific to this ID. Okay, you got the object. Here EMP1 means if it why optional means if you don't have the specific class, you have to use optional and it will avoid the null pointer exceptions. Enter. Enter. EMP1 dot EMP1 EMP1, right? Your object dot get method. Can you say what is the return type of this get? You can go, please try to understand the subject. Remove the get method. I'll show you. Remove the get method. Remove dot also. Dot. Now can you see get? If you say get, what 1 second? You see get, what is the return type of this method?
Model.
EMP model. If you see equals on top, if you see equals, what is the return type of the equals? Boolean, right? Here, if you see hash code method, what is the return type of this method? Int. So if you say get, what is the return type of this? Employee model class. So please store the result into employee model. So now select that. Yeah. Semicolon. Before EMP1, yeah, employee model. That method is returning employee model, right? Employee model. Employee model EMP2. Okay, fine, good. Now after line number 29, enter. EMP2 dot set the values. EMP2 dot set first name. For setting the values. Set first name. Call set first name. Okay. Inside that, you can take the value from the postman. Means we're not hard coding. Taking the values dynamically. EMP model dot. There we are playing with setters and getters. Inside the brackets, in EMP model dot small EMP. EMP model dot get first name. Taking the value and setting to the object which is getting from the database. Now, same way, do for last name and email. Okay, now you can save the EMP to the object in null. After return we have null, right? Remove null. Save this employee to EMP2 object. Save it. You can run as a debug at line number 28, 29. Okay. Now go to controller, you can add the debug. 37. So very simple. Here, what put mapping will do? Put mapping is used to update the record. So from the postman, we are sending updated record as well as we are mentioning the ID. For which ID your data has to be updated. Is there any doubts here? Otherwise, how Springboot will know that which ID has to be updated? You have to mention the ID, right? So that for that ID, your data is going to be updated. Okay, now go to postman. First, go to workbench, see the IDs. Go to workbench. Workbench. So what are the IDs we have? 1, 2, 3. For example, if you want to update third record, let's say you are going to update third record. Now go to postman. Here, go to body. Here, you can update Update means first name inside for alias1, you can change to alias1. Just change the data record. First name we are updating instead of yeah, you can change some name, other name. And email ID you can keep as is so that you can see the differentiate. Bobby. Okay. Now what is the fine? We are updating, we are changing first name. And here from the drop down you can select put. Okay, no issues. You can change only up. From the drop down you can use put. And here what is the path you have? Can you go there? Can you go to Eclipse and see path? Control class. Put slash ID number. You have to mention slash put slash. You have to mention the ID for which ID you are going to be updated. What is the ID name? This is third slash 3. ID number. You have to mention the ID number, right? Otherwise, how Springboot will know that for which ID it has to be updated? Remove the brackets, only ID. That is the expression language. Remove the brackets. Give only number. See. Now you can go to Eclipse and run it debug mode. Already. Have you started? Not, can you go to application and run in debug mode? It's very simple. Guys, it's very simple. Please think logically. Okay, here. Go to controller. Okay, now go to Postman and send the request. Send the request. Now go to Eclipse. Eclipse. It is under process. Go to Eclipse. One second. Now, so can you please see the value of employee model and ID? At line number 36. You have to see at line number 36. You can see got the updated record, right? Bob. And any last name. You can see you got the updated record. And see the ID. What is ID? ID. What is ID? 3. Okay, start ID. Now go. Now do F6. Same. See the values in service class. Do F6 and see the values in service. Now at line number 27, see the values. Got the updated record and ID. Can see the value of ID. 3. Okay. Now what I'm doing now, do F6. So here we have employee report at find by ID, right? What this method will do? So this method will fetch the record based on the ID. Based on the ID, this method should act like a select star from column where condition. See, this is employee one got the object, but this is not actual object. Optional means it's not an actual object. You can get the actual object with the help of get method. Do F6 and see the values of EMP2. Can you see the value of EMP2? Alias, is it new object or old object? EMP2 is the. Guys, tell me, guys. EMP2
Old
is
object.
the EMP model is the new object here. Here EMP2 is the old object which you got from the database. Correct. Find by ID means you got the record from the database. For the record 3, you got the old object because in database you have not saved the new object. Have you saved? David, have you saved the new object? No, right? Simply you are fetching the record from the database. For which ID? Rahul, tell me for which ID we are fetching the data? ID number?
Second ID.
ID number 3. You
3.
can see here. For ID number 3, we are fetching the data from database. So database will have old data, not new data, right? Database will have old data. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
So that's why EMP2 will have the old data. Can you see email ID, first name, alias, last name, any. But this at line number 27, EMP model will have new data, which is coming from Postman. Can you keep the cursor on line number 27 and see? Can you keep the cursor line number 27? So you can see first name. This is a new object came from Postman because we have updated the record and we are sending the updated record from the Postman. But here, like EMP2, for the EMP2, we're fetching the data from the EMP2, we're fetching the data from the database.
Database.
That's why database will have old data. So we have not saved the new data. Clear here?
Yes.
Okay, do F6. So here what I'm doing. So what is the data we have in the EMP model? We're taking the data with the help of which method? One second, please. So with the help of getters method, we are taking the new data from employee model object and we're setting to employee 2 with the help of setter. Okay, with the help of setter, we are setting the data. And in this, we're taking the data with the help of getters. Now, can you see the EMP2 object at line number 20? Because we have set the first name, means we have set the latest data and we have set it to old data. Can you see here? First name Bob. Guys, can you see?
Yes, sir.
With the help of getters, we have taken the data and with the help of setters, we are setting the data to the old object. Do you have 6? Here we are playing with getters and setters. Can you see how much helpful getters and setters? In real time, we are going to be use only getters and setters to set the data, to get the data. Yeah, F6. So finally, we are saving which object? Old object or new object? Old object. Why? Because we're taking the data from the new object and already we have set it to old object with the help of setters. So that this old object will have the updated data. Now this EMP2 will have the keep the cursor in EMP2. Baby, please keep the cursor in EMP2 at line number 29. Now you can see here this will have the new data now. Yes, we're taking the data from the new object with the help of getters and we're setting to old object with the help of setters. Now means now old object will have the updated record and we are saving that updated record with the help of save method. Can you click on F6 and F8? Click on F6. Yeah, F6 again. Okay, F8. You don't want to go inside that. Now we go to Postman. Can you see updated data? And for the third record, this is updated data. And can you go to MySQL Workbench and see? Can you see updated data? First name you updated. That first name go change. So this is our update. And for which record it got updated? ID number 3.
3.
Okay. Now I will tell you one simple scenario. Try to create one method which should delete one record. Means we have to send the ID from the postman. Understood, right? You have to send the ID from the postman means because Springboot should know which record you have to be deleted. That ID you have to mention from the postman. Based on this scenario, create one method in the Eclipse. Create one method which should accept one ID. call delete method from the repo. Go to Eclipse and create it. Iterate delete mapping. Bracket slash. Also, I told you one. You have to take one ID from the postman. Means you have to use ID. Yeah. Create one method. It should be written void. Not to mention the ID because you are deleting it simply. Public void delete. So to capture the values, what is the annotation you have to use? At the rate path variable. To capture the object, we have to use at the rate request body. So here we are not capturing any object. Simply we are taking one ID and we are informing to Springboot. Please delete the record for this ID. Can you please pass this ID to the service layer? Means we need to create one method, but that method should accept ID as a parameter. In service class, you should create one method. That method should accept ID as a parameter. Enter and call or employee report dot. There is a one method delete by ID. So this method should act like a delete from table where condition. Delete by ID. Not delete all. Delete by ID. We're not deleting all the records. Yeah, can you see delete by ID? This is one method delete by ID. So that method is expecting ID. So what internet will do? So internally one delete query will be executed. Delete from table where ID is equal to this ID. So this query will be executed internally. When I call delete by ID, so delete from table where ID is equal, what is the ID we are mentioning here. So here we are not writing any query. And now you can call this method from the controller. It's correct. White written. White means it doesn't return anything, right? Here, don't forget the base. White means it doesn't return anything, right? Yeah. Okay, now you can comment. Sorry, debug it line number 43. 43. We will say that. So for 38 also you can debug. And now go start the application and go to Postman. And check the path once. Go first here. Delete. Delete. Yeah. Now start in debug mode. Now go to Postman. What is the path? Delete, right? Delete and slash. Which record you are going to be delete? You have to mention that. Yes. And here delete. Left from the left side, top down, you have to select delete. It's a put. You need to select delete. And now click on send. Can you go to Eclipse? See the value of ID. Line number 42, you can keep the cursor. Line number 42 is executed. What is the ID you're passing from the postman? 1. Can you go inside this? F6. See the value in service class. Yeah, see the value in service class ID? 1. So when I say line number 38, let me explain line number 38. So what Spring Boot will do? So when I say delete by ID, so which query will be executed internally? Delete from table where ID equal 1. So internally that query will be generated. Is it clear? Yeah. Do you have 6? Do you have 6? F6? F8. F8. Do F8. F8 means resume means so it will come out of the application. Now go to database and see whether the record is deleted. Which one doesn't have anything? You can see here that record got deleted, correct? Guys,
Yes, sir.
so for the ID number 1, there is a one record. That record got deleted. So this is how CRUD operations will work in Spring Boot base. Here, this is a complete application Spring Boot with MySQL, JPA, and Hibernate. So here we are using JPA predefined methods, and here how Hibernate is working in the form of mapping. Can you go to mapping class? Map class. So here, this is Hibernate framework. The model class, it is a Hibernate. You go model. ORM means, what is ORM? Hibernate is nothing but ORM framework. It will map. What is mean by ORM? To map your project class to the table name, properties to the columns. So this class is doing the same, right? That's how we are using JPA predefined methods. So why what is the advantage of JPA here? Even though if you are going to change the database in future, simply you can change application dot properties. So you don't need to change any methods inside your repo. Yeah, so inside your services. But because those methods will be supported to any database. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
If I use save method will be supported to any database. So means we are not writing database specific queries. We are not writing database specific queries. So in future, if you want to change the database, simply you can go to application.properties. Simply you can change that file. Only one place we are going to change. That is correct to configuration. So we are not changing. Simply instead of MySQL, you can use Oracle related configuration. But we are not changing our predefined methods because those methods will be supported to any database. This is called Spring Data JPA, and model class is nothing but some Hibernate, okay? And we are using JPA because our repo, our class is extending JPA repo. So guys, how much time you require to complete this project every? This code. Okay. Maybe is going to share this code. So what you can do, create a new project and try to understand this code and implement it. You can take this code as a reference.
Yes.
Okay, everyone, please take this code as a reference and try to implement one project and try to add the code one by one. First,
So,
I'll tell you what you do. First, let me tell you. First, you need to add the dependencies and then Hibernate configuration and model class and try to run the application after that. Whether the application has been created, means table has been created or not. Okay, once the table is created, create control class and service class and repo. From the controller, it will go to service. From the service, it will go to repo. From the repo, it will go to database. So try to implement this project, guys, everyone.
Okay, sir.
Okay, if you're done with this, so quickly I will explain all the theory parts like Spring Basics and Hibernate Basics,
About
the
here,
Flex and
sir. So here we're using DDL, sir, which means data definition language. Sir.
correct.
We are having more commands also like DML, DCL, TCL, I think.
Yeah.
We can also use those one also, sir.
But those are not going to be useful here. Here, DDL means simply it will create, validate, update.
Okay.
Only these fields will be used. TCL cannot be supported.
Okay.
Can you share the code now, baby? Like,
Yeah, Dave, can you please share the code now?
Yeah, I'm sharing.
Stop. Yeah, please stop your screen share. David, can you please help others? Because there's a way you need to habituate.
Yeah. Yeah, sir, we are doing it, sir. Actually,
Because
anyone
in,
ask-
yeah,